if the Heat aren't allowed to trade for Damian Lillard this summer, how loud is Pat Riley about tampering?
Oh, he's already made a call. Forget about if they could trade for the Heat. He's already made the call.
I was talking to someone on Saturday, about like the Beal trade, or the potential the Beal trade, right? And they were like, "Oh, he's going to Phoenix." I was like, "Yeah, I think so too." But I just what is it? They're like, "It's going to like Bartlestein. Like this is done, right?" Like, and it's part of the beauty of having agents crossover from the agent world to the the executive world and everything. Like it is, we saw relationships for Pelinka work out. We saw relationships for Bob Myers work out. Like this is just gonna be what it is. And I don't know, there's gonna be a point where LeBron owns the Vegas team and Rich Paul's the the president of basketball operations. Who knows what happens? Like, but it's gonna, like, you have this crazy crossover where, like, to me, yeah, the basketball part's interesting, but how are all these teams not like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
right. I mean, that's the real question, and that's the part of the trade that the NBA is going to really have to investigate. I'm sure they're checking everybody's phones. Like, remember that whole tampering deal and all of that stuff.
That should be a TV show where they check their phones. Like that should be like,
I don't.
You want to get eyes.
See what text messages
I
Mark
do. You want to get eyes on NBA TV. Throw that shit on NBA TV. Now you'll get some viewership.
Still probably wouldn't.
Are you kidding me? Mark Bartlestein's text messages wouldn't get. All right, you're out of your mind.
This wasn't tampering. The Wizards had to work with Bradley Beal's people to find a trade because he had a no trade clause, because they were stupid enough in the first place.
For sure. And he just happened to want to go to where Mark Bartlestein's son is a CEO. You're right.
They gave him $250 million and a no trade clause.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got back a great package of a Hall of Famer, a valuable role player in Landry Shamet, a bunch of picks, second round, and pick swaps. Yeah, no, hey, you want to sell it, Jay? Let's sell it.
That's how you sell it, right?
It's a shit trade for Washington.
So Washington set itself up to accept a shit trade by doing everything they've done with Beal in the past. They should have traded him years ago. They kept him. They signed him not just to a supermax, but a supermax with a no trade clause that, even though Beal is still good, is one of the worst contracts in the league because of how big it is, how long it is, and the fact that it's possible he's on the decline after tailing off defensively, and even his offensive numbers haven't been the same in the last couple of seasons.
He turns 30 in a couple of days.
So it's possible you're getting 4 years of Beal at $207 million while he's on the decline.
Mark Bartlestein's a good agent. He is a good agent.
Great agent. Great agent.
Incredible agent.
The only guy who had a no trade clause in the league was Bradley Beal. Who would have ever guessed that?
So the Wizards set themselves up in the past that this was always going to be a bad trade. Yeah. Because Beal could steer himself wherever he wanted to go. His contract is bad. Like, there just were not going to be a lot of options here. The thing about this that makes it fine for me is you get rid of all future. They didn't take any future money in this deal.
Right. Yeah,
they're going to have all the flexibility that comes with that. They're going to be really bad. So you're not just getting all the second round draft picks and the pick swaps. You're also getting your own pick, which is going to be a top 5 pick now because you're no longer going to be in the fighting for the ninth.
And Victor Wembanyama's in that draft, I mean, they did this a year late.
They did it 3 years late.
I mean, no, but if you're going to completely bottom out, wouldn't have this been the season to do it, to try to get Victor Wembanyama? Like, the stuff that it's way too early, but the stuff about next year's draft, it doesn't sound as great. Like, Scoop, Brandon Miller, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
I bet they'll turn around in 1 year to where the drafts after that won't matter.
Yeah, but still, like, it's just, it's just saying, like, this is the year, like, you had a franchise chasing player.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Wizards.
I get it.
But it's what part of this organization, and I'm sure I'm going to get something from Wizards PR, because if you have just a hair off on something you say, then you get an email from Wizards PR. But this is a team that has not been good. They've had talent at times. They've been fun at times, but consistently
the Westbrook
good.
years was the best.
Yeah, that Dre, like that might be their biggest accomplishment of the last decade was the Westbrook run in the second half of that COVID season. Like there's nothing there. Like Kuzma's going to leave. Porzingis is probably going to leave, and it's going to be, I don't know, Monty Morris and Daniel Gafford pick and roll. I'm here for that.
See, if I were a Wizards fan, I'd be super excited about this trade.
No,
not because of the trade itself, but because they finally have a direction that isn't let's go for the 8 seed every year.
Intentionally bad instead of accidentally bad. Yes.
That's it. They are going to bottom out. They have decided to bottom out. They've decided not to be just the totally irrelevant team every year. I would be so happy about this because finally my franchise has decided, let's do this the right way. Let's not just try to get the 8th seed. Let's not try to win games with a roster that won't possibly win games. Let's bottom out. Let's create flexibility. Let's start from scratch. And they needed to start from scratch. So I get all the criticism of the trade because you look at it, Chris Paul's not going to play probably a single game for them. Landry Shamet, not very good at all. They didn't get a single outright first-round pick.
That's the issue. That's the problem. And the second-round picks are all Phoenix's picks that are going to be in the high 40s, low to high 50s. Like,
you're not getting it. It was they were handcuffed the moment they gave him the no trade clause. That's the problem.
They have a direction now. They have a blank canvas now. They're not.
They're
not tied to the mistakes of the previous front office anymore.
You better hope Michael Winger is perfect at drafting.
Yeah,
if he has to be perfect. Like he has to nail the 8th pick immediately. He doesn't have
to be perfect. They
sure does.
They can bottom out.
He sure does because he didn't have any other first round picks
on promising young talent. They can do it the right way. They can finally not be irrelevant, and I'm cool with that. I'd be cool with that.